Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Fearless Thinking, a podcast designed to help you navigate authentic leadership and the entrepreneurial journey. I'm your host, Michael Devous, and these are my thoughts, lessons, and insights from my entrepreneurial journey into coaching, workshops, motivational speaking, and of course, what I picked up from interviews with inspiring leaders and entrepreneurs along the way. My mission is to help people unlock their untapped potential by using fear as a catalyst for powerful change and growth, so they can step into the greatest version of their most authentic selves. All right, let's get into some fearless thinking. Hey, Fearless Thinkers, welcome back to the Fearless Thinking Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Devous, re-recording episodes 42, 43, 44, and 45, which is why I'm going to be in the same shirt for each one of these. I came back from being evacuated due to forest fires, trying to get things set back up again, started recording, and for some reason, I don't know, sound was not working, and I recorded all the episodes during the week. Without sound. So unless you can read lips, that will be of no bueno to you. So, anyway, this week, obviously, we're talking about how the effects of being evacuated from a forest fire have had their impact on me during this time period, on my thinking, my emotions, my life, my business. And I'm a lot calmer now, and I'm a lot more like getting back into the swing of things. But I do want to share with you my thoughts and my the challenges that we face. You know, when we're going through these things, and it can be, well, this week we're talking about integrity, and we're talking about resiliency, and we're talking about crises. When we face these things, how do we manage them? When we fall to our training and we fall to our habits, are they enough to support us and hold us up during the middle of these things? And one of the things I've learned is a lot of truth to that, y'all. There's a lot of truth to making sure that your foundation of your habits and your training are good enough so that if you falter, if you fall, if something knocks you off your game, where you fall to is at the highest place it possibly can be. So when you need to get back up and running, you're prepared to do so well and do so fast, right? So episode 43, promises kept under fire, trust, integrity, and leading through crises or crisis. The crucial topic of fulfilling your promises while facing a big obstacle like a forest fire. I felt a lot of guilt not getting my done, you know what I mean? My stuff done, not getting my work done, not getting my podcasts produced, not getting my posts out there. I carried a lot of guilt with that, you know, and as I mentioned previously, my family and I faced a terrifying ordeal where our ranch was threatened by forest fires, and we had to evacuate. In the midst of this chaos, I was reminded of a very fundamental truth, that trust is very important. Personal integrity, trust is important. And when the world feels like it's crumbling down around you or it's on fire, you know, the promises that we make to ourselves and others become really important. They become very distilled. As you start to realize, oh, I've made all these commitments, not only to myself, but to other people. And those commitments are like the glue that holds together our dreams and our passions and our journeys and our strategies that we have created in order to bring our passions, in order to bring our passions to life as entrepreneurs, right? It's the foundation upon which we build who we are as we move forward. And, excuse me, building our businesses on a foundation that is set with really solid commitments, right, and follow through is crucial and important. And as entrepreneurs, keeping our word, it's almost as essential and valuable as paying our bills. It is the currency of trust. The trust between you and your clients, or you and your teams, your partners, making sure that you're delivering every single time you say you're going to deliver. It's also the trust that you have in yourself to follow through on those commitments. Now, I I spoke about this, I think, in another episode or whatever, but Tom Bilyeu, who did a motivational motivational speaking thing, talks about personal integrity from the sense that if you are changing your schedule constantly, if you are not meeting your goals, meaning if you are saying to yourself, I'm going to be working out Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to be doing yoga on Wednesdays and Fridays, I'm going to be making sure that I go to lunch with my friends every third Tuesday of the month, I'm going to be, you name it, all those personal meetings and things that you have with yourself to strategize, to organize, to plan, whatever. If you keep moving those around, if you keep adjusting your personal schedule to accommodate other people and other opportunities, what you're doing is chipping away at your own personal integrity. You're telling yourself, you're not worthy of my time and my attention. You're not worthy of being first. You're not worthy of being a priority. You're not worthy of the things and the goals you say you are, and you cannot commit to me and commit to us. So what makes you think you can commit to the future, or let alone any other big projects coming down the line? And guess what? When you decide you want to do, have, or become something greater than you are today, what does the universe do? What does your mind start doing? It starts putting ideas of self-doubt. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I may not have enough. All the fears, the fears of failure, fears of the unknown, fears of success, fear of whatever, all come bubbling up. Why? Because your personal integrity is at risk. Because you did not follow through on the promises you made to yourself. And your brain knows this. Your person knows this. Your inner you knows this. And it's bringing up those, not because it's trying to dissuade you, not because it's trying to tell you you're not worthy. It's trying to point out a discrepancy between what you think you deserve and want and the practices you've got to show that you deserve it. Now, that's important. So, fulfilling our promises, not only to other people, but to ourselves, is not always easy, right? There are always going to be unexpected challenges, especially setbacks in our lives, right? We've decided we want to be an entrepreneur. We decided we want to launch a business and we want to bring our dreams and passions into the world. Of course, there's going to be obstacles. You just told the universe that you want to do this, that you want to have this, that you want to become this next amazing thing. The universe goes, hey, welcome to the Gold's Gym of Life, dude. Get into the racks, start pumping some iron, and do the exercises to grow. That's what you've got to do. You've got to grow. And in order to grow, you have to face resistance. And in order to face resistance, you have to face challenges that build your resiliency for that very purpose. This is where integrity comes in. It's the unwavering commitment to our values, even in the face of adversity. And this is where I think I failed, or at least this is where I feel like I failed. In the face of adversity, as the forest fires were raging and we were evacuating our home, I didn't get my podcasts out. I didn't get my work done. I didn't get anything really accomplished for nearly 3 to 4 weeks because I was just so distraught with anxiety, frantic. I couldn't think, couldn't focus, you name it. And I fell to the best of my habits and my abilities and my training. And quite frankly, in retrospect, I'm not sure they were good enough for where I need to be and what I want to be doing. And I began to examine that, right? So, question, how do we maintain integrity and keep our promises even when we're under pressure? And I'm not talking everyday pressure, although that exists and it's real for everybody, that kind of pressure. But I'm talking about when big SHIT hits the fan. How do we do this? And so there's a couple of steps I want to talk about here, 4 of them. One is be realistic. I heard this from so many friends. Michael, you got to be realistic. I mean, my gosh, your branch was threatened by fire and you had to evacuate. Come on, give yourself a break. Well, being realistic, which is, they always say, don't under promise, over deliver. I'm not sure you can do that with a sense of integrity, because it feels disingenuous. If you were to tell yourself, like, I'm gonna under promise this, dude, but over deliver, that feels a bit like you're cheating, right? Like I'm not gonna tell you what I can deliver, right? because I'm going to underpromise you, and then I'm going to over deliver on that promise, making it look like I could have done more. Like that just feels disingenuous to me, right? Being realistic means understanding what you are capable of delivering, right? Not only for yourself and other people, but what you're capable of delivering given your timeline, time constraints, resources, all of it. And in the face of a real crisis, understanding what it means to A, take care of yourself and your family first, B, what you can set aside, and C, how you can make sure that you can get back on track, right? Is this the challenge you're facing? Is it so big that you have to put a pause on things? Is it so big that you need to check in with your emotional and psychological well-being? Is it so large that you need to check in with your doctor or your family, right? Have you done that? So be realistic about what that challenge looks like, and be fair to yourself. But also remember, if you're gonna make a promise, and I don't feel like we should be promising anybody anything. We don't make promises. We might make a guarantee of delivery of services. We might make a guarantee of satisfaction. You can't promise anyone anything. The world doesn't work that way, and there are no guarantees, and tomorrow is promised to no one. What you can do is be consistent with your word and your delivery, your quality of your product and your services, and ensure your clients and your customers that they're going to get the best. Now, the best on time in the timeline mentioned. Under promising and over delivering just suggests to me that you could have done more. And your brain knows that, your mind knows that, and now your integrity is now compromised because you did less than you could have done. And your brain knows this. It's keeping score, dude. That's why it's going to come up with these ideas and these thoughts of self-worth and self-value that suggest you're not worthy because you don't live up to your best. You're living up to your subpar, right? Right here. Because it's easier to underpromise and overdeliver on that promise than it is to actually overdeliver on a bigger promise, right? To overpromise, to try to do more. I don't think there's any need to do more. Just deliver what you say you're going to deliver, right? Just give the customer what they need, where they need it, when they need it, right? Your client, your customer, your team, whatever it is. If you can't deliver, be honest and be realistic about what that means, right? It's okay if you can't do it all. It's okay that it can't all be done right now, but be realistic about that. 2, communicate transparently. Be honest about the challenges and the delays that are coming. If you're faced with a super big challenge, if you're faced with a crisis that you have to overcome, that you have to deal with, then you need to be honest with your clients, your customers, your teams, your families, your people. You need to let them know. I started a huge chat group for my entire family because I couldn't contact every individual separately to talk about this. In fact, I didn't want to. I just was like, dude, here's the information. You know that I'm safe. Please keep up with it. Don't ask me any more questions. I'm overwhelmed. And it's good to be clear. You've got to be clear with people what you need and where you are. And that comes in the form of making sure that if you're being realistic about the challenges and the delivery of those promises that you've made, then you're also being realistic about how you can communicate this through to your team, your clients, and your customers about what's happening right now in the face of a current crisis or dilemma so that they can be prepared and understand there could be a delay in the delivery of these services or these products, these promises that were kept, right? They will understand if they know you. 3, set clear expectations. You cannot set clear expectations without being realistic. Make sure everyone on your team is on the same page. Make sure your customers and your clients are on the same page. Make sure they all understand exactly where you are and set a new set of expectations. Create a new set of clear expectations about what is being delivered, when it's being delivered, what the delay looks like, how long you think it should be, and when you can get back on your feet or get things back up and running. If it's 5 days, give yourself 7. If it's 10 days, give yourself 13. Like, you got to be realistic and create the same buffer we create in there for delivering on timelines, the same buffer we create for margins of excellence and production and services and efficiency. You need to offer yourself that same margin of performance when coming out of and onto the other side of a crisis. So many things, unexpected variables can happen as a result of getting to the other side that you thought 5 days was enough. Clearly not. It was 8. Or I thought 10 days would be plenty. Clearly not. It was 15. And if you don't give yourself that buffer, you might find yourself stuck in a situation where you're going to fumble and fall, and it could set you back even further. Number 4, take responsibility. Okay. It's our responsibility. All of it. All of it. Like Alex Hermosi says, you can eliminate everything in the world. When it comes down to it, have you done everything you can? Have you taken responsibility for every single aspect of every single part of this that you possibly can? And then owning up to the potential mistakes, delays, or the extra work that might need to get done in order to make things right. Owning and taking responsibility and accountability is what we have to do as leaders. It doesn't mean that we have all the answers, and it doesn't mean that it's our fault, but it does mean we're the ones capable and responsible enough to step up to find the solution to get us to the next stage, to get us past this moment of delay and crisis and on to the other side. That's what great leaders can do, right? And you can help find solutions, right? Let people know that you're taking responsibility and accountability. You've put things into place in order to make sure that we can get to the other side, and you're going to move through, right? So take responsibility, right? Those are the 4 steps. When you keep your promises, both to yourself and other people, by the way, you build a reputation of reliability, trustworthiness, and loyalty. This attracts loyal customers and strengthens your brand and your team cohesion and creates a culture of mutual respect and accountability. By being realistic, communicating transparently, setting clear expectations, and taking responsibility, you can help overcome the biggest crisis, the large crises that are coming down the road, right? The big fires that we're facing, both virtually and figuratively and, well, realistically. You can practice how to address crisis management in a way that says we are always going to be prepared to answer these fully, with accountability and realistically. And we will, of course, make sure that everybody knows what's coming down the road. You know, the part of building not only what I do with motivational speaking and making for your friend, but also with the coaching and consulting at the Ascend Hub. When I bring in the leaders and coaches and mentors, they will help us learn how to set clear expectations, take responsibility, be realistic, and communicate transparently. We will talk about crisis management. We will talk about adversity preparation. We will talk about personal integrity and promises kept and promises not kept. We will look at those things in our workshops and our classes and our coaching sessions to talk about how we can be better to ourselves. Now, I'm not saying better to other people, because when you're better to yourself, when you work on doing that for yourself, when you can learn to operate from this side of the fence, keeping true to your own integrity and your own self-values and your word to yourself first, before everything else, then everyone else benefits with the same results, with the same outcomes, with the same delivery, right? You don't have to make promises to other people, because if you've done it to yourself, if you've made sure that you're realistic, if you've made sure you communicate transparently, if you set clear expectations and take responsibility, and you adhere to the promises you kept for yourself, your own personal integrity, everything else falls perfectly into place, and you don't have to under promise and over deliver. You don't have to do that, right? You just deliver, and you deliver every time, because that's who you are. That's what you do, and people know it, right? And they know that if there's a problem, you're going to let them know, and you're going to be transparent about it, right? So at the Ascend Hub, we're going to bring that. We're going to try to create workshops and coaching classes and live discussion forums where we get to talk about these things. If you're in a place of crisis, you need support in a community. We believe in the power of integrity, building on that community collaboration where entrepreneurs, leaders, and executives and mentors can come together to support one another and uphold our commitments, navigating our personal and our professional challenges together, and leading with unwavering values. That's what we're going to do. That's what's coming. Specials are going on now. Make sure you check out all the links and stuff in the bio or whatever, the show notes. And check us out at theascendhub.com to find out more, because I really think this is going to be a big game changer. I think it's going to be incredible for a lot of people. Join us on this journey to create a world where trust is our currency of success, right? When we talk about defining success, together we can ascend to new heights, both professionally and personally, and we can get there faster, farther together. You know, Ascend Hub, me to the power of we, where every ambition finds its spark. So thank you for joining me. Episode 43, Promises Kept Under Fire, re-recording all these episodes this week in the same shirt. It's okay. We'll get better. We will improve. Do some fearless thinking this week. Be good to one another, and I will see you in the next episode. Okay, bye.